Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today it is my review for Liverpool 4, Ipswich Town 1. Let's get straight into it. First thing I want to say is great performance. Obviously recently we've had that run of not bad performances, I would say, but we've been dropping points. We've had a couple of draws, Man United, Forest, all of that. So it's good to be back on the winning ways and quite comfortably as well. That first half, it was extremely dominant. We went 3-0 up. Obviously, the first point I want to make is Szoboszlai. I'm so happy for Szoboszlai. When he first came in Jurgen's last season, we saw what he had. That first month or two of that season, he was being called the next Gerrard. And after that, he's never been, like, especially bad, per se, but he didn't live up to that. But ever since under Slot, like, I didn't really notice it until he was ill for that little period, which coincided with those games where we dropped some points. But he is so important to the way we play. His pressing is crucial, and it's like Slot said earlier in the season. He expects number 10 to get more goal contributions, and if he can add that to his game like he did yesterday, then that would be absolutely incredible. It was a great goal. He has it in him. I would like to see him do a few of that on free kicks as well, because I'm pretty sure every free kick he's ever taken for us has hit the wall. Well, I've seen some of the ones he scored at Leipzig, and they were insane. Obviously not relevant to the game, but just wanted to speak about that. Szoboszlai is so important to the way we play, and I hope he'll get more consistent with his goal contributions. And yeah, just incredible. Second up, I just want to talk about the midfield as a whole. I think this midfield trio honestly might be the best that we've had since Wijnaldum left the club. Since Wijnaldum left the club, there was always something missing, that little spark of energy. Like Fabinho, he was a great defensive midfielder, but that's what he was. He was the man to cover the back four. Like, he could go up and score some screamers every now and then, but he was the man to cover the back four. And whoever else you put in the midfield, whether it be Henderson, Milner, Ox, Naby, all of them, I don't think were anywhere near Wijnaldum. But I think with this kind of midfield, we finally have that. Obviously, it's a different system. We have a number 10 and more two, well, not quite two defensive midfielders. One goes further forward, one more stays back. But I think that brings the team a lot of energy, and I do believe that this is our best midfield since Wijnaldum left the club. And it's just a great sign for the season ahead. Obviously, we're still 6 points clear ahead of Arsenal with a game in hand after, unfortunately, they won their game against Wolves, which that should definitely not have been a red card for them, but I digress. They already have enough of that by themselves. The next point I want to make is Mo. Obviously, he didn't have a great game in his last few games, but that's more the Mo that I know. He scored a good goal. He was making things happen down the right hand side, and if he continues like that, I mean, he's already got, I think that was his 20th goal in the Premier this season already. He is on Ballon d'Or form if he continues, and long may it, because his goal scoring is definitely one of the main things that would win us the league if we go on to win it. Next up, Cody. I want to talk about Cody. Cody is the type of player that you need to win leagues. He might not be a consistent starter, and obviously with Cody and Lucho changing out whenever Diogo or Darwin's down the middle, it's confusing. He's not a main starter, but he's the one you need in that type of squad. A player that can just get you goals when you need them. I mean, I think I saw something yesterday saying in his last, what was it, 10 goals at home, he scored 10 games at home, he scored 7 goals or something. It was something like that, and he's just been so crucial to the way we play this season. And I think because of how Mo's been playing, obviously Mo's been incredible, but I think he's been pretty underrated. And yeah, and with Diogo being out injured yet again, I'm guessing we're going to have the Diaz, Cody, Mo front three again for a while, which I will get into in a minute more in depth. But yeah, and I think having Cody is important. I always liked Cody when he first came to the club. He played well. Obviously, he had that patch last season where he really wasn't great, but to me that wasn't his fault. That was one of the few things that Jurgen did wrong, playing him through the middle when he was clearly a left winger. I mean, even Slot knows that, because Lucho suits the centre forward role more, which again I'll get into in a minute. But ever since he's been put out onto his preferred left, he's done so much better. Now onto that front three. I think that the front three can be very hit or miss. Today it worked out. Sometimes Lucho isn't that effective up top, and yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Cody is always threatening off the left. I think that's the main reason we do it, because obviously they both bring danger off the left, but we both want to put them in the team. And Lucho can do that centre forward role, as we saw the first time he did it against Leverkusen in the Champions League, where we got a hat trick. But it all just depends. And I think personally, I love Diogo, and I think when he's fit, Diogo is our first choice striker. I don't know who I'd put on the left. That's more debate. But when he's fit, our front three should be Cody or Lucho on the left, Mo on the right, and Diogo down the middle. But the thing is, he's never fit. He had a long time out after that Chelsea game, and then he comes back and gets injured 2 or 3 games later. And if he can't stay fit, then I don't think he can be the striker for us that we need. And I love Darwin as a player. Obviously, he saved us against Brentford last week. But if he can't put his consistency up, then in my opinion, I do think we need a new striker in the summer. I don't know who. Maybe Jonathan David. Obviously, in the summer, I was really liking the look of Mamouche, but now he's gone to City, so obviously that's not going to happen. But David could be a good choice. Obviously, Dreamland, Alexander Isak would be absolutely incredible, but in my opinion, I really don't think he's going to leave Newcastle unless they're forced to sell him. And even if they are forced to sell him, I doubt FSG will pull out money out. But I watch Isak play for Newcastle weekly because my family are Newcastle fans, and he seems so happy there. So unless for PSR reasons he has to leave, I don't see him going. So yeah, Jonathan David would be more realistic. But in my opinion, if Diogo can't stop getting injured and Darwin can't get more consistent, then we need a new striker. Because long term, I don't know if Lucho down the middle can work, considering it is a bit inconsistent at times. Next up, I just want to talk about the defence. Defence was great all game. Obviously, we let that consolation goal in right at the end, which was a bit disappointing. But to be fair, when you have Harvey marking one of their centre backs, it's bound to happen. He's one of the shorter players on the pitch compared to one of the tallest players on the pitch, and it's just why would I get zonal marking and all that, but why would you do that? But either way, it was a good performance defensively. Now that we have Ibu and Verge back together in the middle, it seems like that Ibu has properly recovered from his injury now, because he did look back to his best today, pre-injury, that Real Madrid game when we had conceded 3 goals was it in the league. I think he's looking back to that. I don't know if we'll. Yeah, and I think that was such a big part to the reason we had a great start to the season. So I hope he stays fit now. Yeah, one last thing I want to talk about: Harvey and Chiesa. Obviously, in my Nottingham Forest review, I talked about how I want them to play more, and since then they actually have. Elliot as Harvey off the bench. I always think that if you're lacking creativity or you need a spark, you bring Harvey on. I think he's an expert at that. And Chiesa, again, he comes on, he plays well, he makes chances, and I think that obviously it's one of the best teams in the world. It's tough to get a spot in there, but I think that personally you need to give them game time. And obviously I don't understand how they've been given less game time, because obviously Szoboszlai is our number 10. You'd think he needs some sort of rest, so I don't understand how Harvey hadn't been playing. I guess we had Jones there, but in my opinion, Jones definitely seems more of a backup defensive midfielder rather than attacking. And I mean, you have Darwin who can play on the wing, but why not just bring Chiesa on? And I think now that Diogo is injured, I think we will be seeing a lot more of Chiesa. I think that's the one positive of that, and I'm glad, because I really do think that he's a good player, and if he can stay fit, he'll have a big impact on the club, which is why I don't get why we're being linked to forwards a lot. But anyway, that's all I had to say. It was a great performance. Let's move on to the next one, midweek in the Champions League, and then back in the league on the weekend. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.